Yes, welcome to another episode of the OHB Academy podcast. It's a very special one today, but first myself, Mike.
Coach Jav in the building.
And yeah, man, today's guest. So I like to say this thing, right, that sometimes when you get familiar with someone, you can forget or try and like downplay their greatness. And we've got to understand, just because we know people, we're around them on a regular, doesn't mean this person isn't this person isn't, got like some real star qualities in them. So, this person I'm the guest today, very, prolific, bro, because when you first spoke at our event, it was a life-changing. And I don't say that to like, you know what I mean, just because I don't, me, I keep it honest. Like, it's true, because I hadn't been in person and heard anyone speak in that way regarding like mindset, limiting beliefs and so on. And I saw how it affected our coaches as well. So very powerful, man. But we got the one and only super dad Damo in the building, man.
Mike, that's the best introduction.
Come on, man.
Ever.
Come on, bro.
Smiling the way through. That's got to make it to the edits. I want that.
No head is head, bro. It's straight in, man. But Damo, how you doing, man, today? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's warm. I'm in good company, man. I'm in a good mood, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming as well, man. Appreciate it. Long time coming. Michael's been getting onto me to get you on the podcast for a long time.
For the longest.
He took it into his own hands and we just made it happen.
You not travel too much. You not travel.
He was in Dubai. So, I mean, not Dubai, Thailand.
Oh, is he? Don't even know where you are.
Are you going away next week as well or something?
I don't know.
Yes. There we go. But so this is, it has been a long time coming. From that talk, I knew, look, we need you on our podcast because, you got a lot of profound things to say and to help people. So we're just going to get straight into it, man. I got a very interesting question I'm proud of to start this off. What did you want to be when you grew up? You're young. What did you want to be?
Oh, wow. What a question. Wow. When I was young, I think, if I'm being honest, the thing I wanted to be most that comes to my mind is I wanted to have my name on my back of my shirt as a footballer. It's a bit of a weird one, because most people say they want to be a pro, and I think I wanted people just to recognize who I was. I think I definitely have issues with my ego. I wanted to be known. Other than that, I've been obsessed by revolutionaries. I was obsessed by Bob Marley from young. I know some people might not look at him as a revolutionary, right? But I've been obsessed by people, and Che Guevara have been who like have so much in them to go and like extend themselves beyond what I would seem necessary to help other people.
Yeah.
So that would probably be earlier, but I wouldn't say I wanted to be, because I didn't really know what that was at the time, but I was always obsessed by revolutionaries.
From what age, kind of?
Crazy, like, I guess I would, like, even in films, I always loved like someone that done something. Do you remember Armageddon, the film Armageddon?
The name is hitting, but
Bruce Willis. Yeah, I was always like amazed by the guy that gave up his life to like better humanity.
Yeah.
Like the martyr. That's a better word for it. So I would say from early, man, and ever since then, man, I always have read like Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, all them guys. I've always been reading their book.
Yeah, that's it. So you said the shirt, your name on the back of the shirt, right?
Yeah.
So that led you into football. No?
Yeah. So I would, what's funny, Mike, is that I think I wanted to be the popular kid. So I think that's what the name on the back of the shirt was, and I didn't recognize myself as the popular kid. I was good at sport, but I definitely wasn't like a big hit with the girls or anything like that, right? So I think being like the jock was something I wanted to be. The guy that everyone saw as the aspiring athlete.
Yeah. So like in school though, because obviously you've got brothers, and obviously I know your younger brother. Was football always your thing in school?
I was one of the better footballers, but I was more of a naughty child.
Okay.
I wasn't like a bad breed, like bring a knife to school kid, but I was definitely like, I'll probably be classified as maybe having ADHD or something. I was always on
you with now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You in tables, yeah?
Yeah, not Asbo. I wasn't Asbo, somewhere else. But yeah, I was definitely like someone that was like, I wasn't doing like extracurricular football. I was like, I just loved like climbing on a roof, like that kind of kid, or like getting chased by the elders. I don't know if you ever done that kind of stuff. Like, you know, push and run, you know, that kind of stuff. That stuff excited me, you know.
Okay, so then, like, when did football start to become serious then?
Jav, you know what? I had I don't know if I ever told you, like, I played for a team called Downham Tavern, the Sunday team, and I played a game against a team called Maidstone. I know you said you recently gone out that way. And it was just like a friendly pre-season fixture, and I ripped it, and I scored 2 goals. And then by Monday, the person people must have got in contact with the grassroots manager. Then they got hold of me, and I remember that guy training for a team called Greenwich Borough, and they gave me like 50 quid or 75 quid. And I remember at that moment I was like, whoa, like, like, am I this good?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, money. And I would say I obviously started to take it more serious, but at that moment I realized, oh, there's actually like a little bit of a pathway in this, you know?
So back then, school times, you weren't doing the whole academy thing and
Oh, absolutely not. I remember I had like a trial on that, or like I turned up day one, because of my situation, my dad was an alcoholic. Like, he had no kind of like nothing to do with the whole thing. Yeah. So I think I went to like Millwall one time because they invited me in, but I didn't even bother. The next day I just went with my friends.
Right.
So I was an academy kind of guy.
Right.
I was an academy guy.
Right. And did that, obviously, Sean's younger than you, right?
Sean was younger than me, yeah.
Did that kind of, well, Sean was in academy though, because he was at Palace. Like,
Sean, yeah.
So did that make you focus on him, like help him out, or was it not really like that? He kind of just did his own thing.
You know what? It's funny. I think he gives me more credit than I deserve for that, because he's like, I've heard him speak on podcasts before of how much I kind of pushed him in that direction. But at the time, like I didn't really understand it like that, but I was just like, yeah, you're killing it, you know, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, what? My brother's just bigging him up, yeah. But knowing the tools I have now, I would have definitely been like, nah, bro, listen, we're doing, nope, we're going over here, we're going park, we're going gym, yeah. But at the time I was just like excited that my brother was at an academy. So, but he seems to think I was to be fact, so I'll take it, you know.
So what would you say is like not trick question, but what's the best thing and maybe the worst thing you gained from childhood?
Oh, best thing I gained from childhood is independence. You know, as I said, my dad was struggling with, he was an alcoholic. So I think that like I became very independent early. I was like out and about. I made mistakes and I knew hustle. You know, I knew how to make money without having to ask my dad for money. I was like buying my own trainers and that from 14, 15. Worst thing I learned, man, I kind of like, it ties in with this whole kind of revolution. I kind of didn't give a fuck about authority. You know, like I was always like, I didn't really want to hear nothing. You know, like, and maybe maybe you two can relate. Maybe like there's a little bit of entrepreneurial kind of thing with that, yeah. But I don't really want to hear nothing. Like, you know, like all the time I'm like, fuck off, like, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but I think there was a lot of bad stuff to be learned in that, because there's a lot of people that what they're telling you is good, right? It's good for you. So
yeah. And the independence, we say that's kind of carried on or helped you along your journey, like you said, entrepreneurial.
Yeah, man. I just think as well, where we live in such like a lot of my friends, man, I don't know if you had friends like that. Their mums and that would buy them shit all the time and stuff like that. And they become, it's harsh, man. They're kids there, they're 14, 15, but they're soft, innit? You know, they're softer than you. And I think that's what helped me in football as well, you know, like I was like, you know, pussies, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, and I was a little bit rough around the edges and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to not use the word streetwise, because I was going to say streetwise instead of independent, right? But I think part of being independent, there's a streetwise element.
Why didn't you want to use the word the streetwise though?
Just because I think it like opens it up to like maybe saying like, I don't know, to be someone like shotting or something like that. I wasn't doing them kind of elements of streetwise here. But what I mean is though, like I could handle my own. I could scrap. I had fights. You know, I wasn't scared of like a man. You know, like a lot of people are scared of like adult confrontation. I wasn't scared of adult confrontation.
Same.
Like that. Do you get my point? No.
Yeah, I get what you mean. 100%. So, all right, cool. So let's just like fill out the gaps of the story a bit. I want to move on to that online and business and now, but a lot of people are going to be wondering like, what happened with the football and everything like that.
Yeah, so football, I went into non-league from, I think I started playing non-league 17 up until 21. Then I got signed professionally by a team called Southend. I've stayed pro for about 5 years. Jumped back into non-league.
Well, what happened there though? Was
Yeah. Let's not outplay. I went from non-league to professional football. Like, what was that moment?
You know what? I think we're obviously going to talk a lot about business here. So the character, right? A lot of what I'm saying is a pro for me. I also think it's a con. Yeah, so like, because you've got to tame the beast. Yeah, so when I've gone pro now, yeah, like I was still selling electric. So you remember them electric keys? Yeah, electric keys.
You got £50 on it straight away. No, you know people do electric top up, yeah?
yeah.
Man that used to shot the key and come to your house, yeah, and put it in, you get £50 straight away.
Yeah.
So when I've got in non-league, that's okay because you're doing Tuesday, Thursday training, so I'm doing that. But as a pro, I'm now making, I think my initial contract, first period of my contract was on £900 a week, right? Which is more than enough for a 21-year-old boy, and I was still living at home. I bought one of these keys for 2,500. Me, my friend Stefan and my brother, in the evenings, now we're jumping in a car and we're selling electric, yeah? So I think that hustle kind of thing where it was not focused and I'm just shooting everywhere with it, I think it's very limited as a pro. So when I was a pro, I wasn't really seeing, I was buying and selling stolen goods, you know, that kind of stuff. So then I've been a pro for 5 years and I think it just was, I just had a very low ceiling. I just capped out, you know, like then someone offered me an opportunity to make the same money going back to part-time. Very limited mindset. I'm thinking, raw, so £1,000 a week going back to Tuesday, Thursday. And guess what? Now I can double down on these little side hustles I have.
So you actually took the decision to go from pro to non-league.
It's a very common thing, I'm sure, James.
Yeah,
very common. So especially like the lower ends of, so pro is like a big, like Paul, a lot of people when you say pro, they think of the Premier League and Champions League, but the majority of people are just floating above non-league. And that was me. It's not like my brother. My brother was making the good money, right? But the majority of us are just making more. Then it actually works out to be less because you're training more. Right?
Okay.
So I took the same money to go in back to Eastleigh, signing on fee, and then I got a part-time job as a courier, and I was hustling, you know, like that. But really, in hindsight, I should have really just doubled down on being good at football and tried to get a move to get 3 or 4 grand a week. So yeah, then I went back into non-league because of the seriousness or unseriousness of it all. And then that was just a downward spiral, man. It was a downward spiral. I was drinking excessively on the weekends. I was still mingling with like people that were from a different realm. They had different ideas of life. You know, when I'm buying and selling these things and even doing the electric thing, which I stopped doing, you're just meeting people that aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should
and you're having conversations. Do you get my point, boys? Like, I'm pretty sure you're all
like when you was at Southend and you made the decision, did you have an agent? Did you have any, or did you have not even an agent? Did you have someone that was
there to help
opinion that you could lean on?
This is what I'm saying. I personally, I did have an agent, a guy named Saif Ruby, right? Shout out to Saif. He's like a mega agent. He's in the world. He owns a club in Dubai. I don't know if you lot have been there, like Super Club it's called. So he was like probably an agent beyond me. So he's connected with me. So I probably needed someone that was a little bit more...
Right, a bit more.
Yeah, a little bit real time than me. But he's a good guy, you know, shouting me out and that. But remember, at the same time, I think I know it all, you know. Remember that independence I'm telling you about? I'm like, if I can make it, you know, that 900 turns into... I'm very short-sighted. And then, you know, to be honest, man, it's all an excuse because you have people in your team that you actually see in doing the right things. Yeah, and then they disappear, they get a move. Like, and I think I'm getting one up on them, you know, because I'm like, raw, you lot are only making football money. And they're thinking, no, I'm trying to bust. I'm trying to... Yeah, of course.
You're doing what's right. So, you know what I mean?
Did he have any input though? Like, did he say anything to you at that time when you was making that move? Or no, not really? Yeah,
he used to like hit me with the whole positivity thing, yeah, which I think is like, it gets played out to some degree in it. And where he's so distant from me and he's operating with big boy players as well. Like, and man, maybe, I don't want to excuse myself, but maybe like if I had someone that was like needed me more to do well,
right, it
could have like, he might have said something different, but he was just like, if I played like, oh, well done, you're killing it, like, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
really constructive.
Yeah, that's not to disrespect him because obviously he's managing a group of players. Yeah, I think at the time I may have been his lowest placed player in the pyramid, you know.
Sorry, I got to interrupt this video, this podcast that you're watching, just for an amazing announcement. on the 7th of September. Jav, please tell them what we have.
We are hosting the Fitness Business Breakthrough. It's going to be in Southwest London at CrossFit Putney, and it's going to be a 6 or 7 hour workshop day where we're literally going to break down everything you need to grow your fitness coaching business to 5 or 10K per month. But I heard we got some special guests.
We got some serious guests, man, and we're going to announce the first one today. We got Damo, Super Dad Damo, who is a legend when it comes to online coaching, building a community. He's a 6-figure business owner, and he always brings that energy and that serious mindset. But we've got some other special guests that will be announced soon.
And it's not going to be like any other workshop you've done before. We're going to do an hour workout before, then we're going to eat, chill out. DJ's going to be playing music. Then we'll get into the business talk. So, sorry for the interruption. I'll see you there. Press the link in the description to grab your ticket. Peace.
Okay. So, all right. You've gone from non-league pro back to non-league. You know, you said like you were dealing with like the alcohol and everything like that. So how did you kind of have that moment, man, where you kind of turned it around and maybe got into fitness? What happened from there?
I was running out of money. Yeah. Like, my missus was having enough of me. I had my first child.
Yeah.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I was exhausted with like who I was. Like I was just always tired, and I was doing so much. I was always tired. Like I felt like I was playing like 5 different roles every day, like between trying to like make enough money just to get through to the next point. And then also I was still like trying to play Damian, the footballer guy. You know, like that. And I just felt like it was a low point. I don't like to throw out the words depression, but I was definitely like, I want myself, you know, I want myself. And obviously that's where the drinking and that was kicking in. I'll never forget, again, I don't think I've told you, I remember we went out on a night out and I just flipped out one day. Like I put my hands on like, no domestics and no one can report me. I didn't beat up my missus or not here, but I put my hands on a couple of people here.
I had to clear it up.
Yeah, I just had to clear it up before someone like, yeah, so I just got drunk and then I just saw that as like, yeah, bro, there's something not right here, you know?
Yeah.
And then from that point forward, I just started, it didn't all just after that come together, you know? From that point there, I just think that I knew that seriousness had to increase, you know?
Yeah. So that's like an addiction. Did you get to an addiction to alcohol, you say?
Do you know what, man? Again, like, I'm not from, I think I was addicted to the feeling, because I wasn't drinking every day, but I knew every week I needed to leave reality.
Yeah, escape kind of.
You know, like every weekend I needed to be away from like these problems.
Yeah. Okay. And then how did you decide you're going to be a PT or coach? How did you know?
So I was still hustling. So me and my brother, we saw an opportunity to turn this garage into a PT studio. So I had to, when I retired from football, they gave me £1,700. Yeah. And I didn't have much more than that to my name. We started building the studio. And when that thing actually happened, I think it just increased my like intensity to make that happen. You know, like the PT studio. And then I just doubled down on it, man. I remember like charging £12.50 a client and stuff like that. And but to be honest, I love that hustle. Now I look back, I actually love that hustle. Like, you know, having to think how to make money. It makes me, it generally makes me happy to think that like, most people like £12.50, but when I was getting paid, I was like, you're a fucking G. You know? You know, like that.
You did it yourself.
Yeah, I did it myself. And it's like, you know, like, do you know how I feel? Like, obviously now like, I've got more blueprints and like, I know how to like access people to help me. But at that point, I was like, the fuck? She just put money in your account? Like, you know?
I always feel like when you do something yourself, there's a different type of fee. It's different than when you work for somebody, than when you do it for yourself. Like, when you do it for yourself, it's like, yeah. Well, what made you retire though? What was there?
Sorry, I got knee in my groin, Jav. You know, I got knee in my groin and the muscle started to develop into bone.
Calcified,
yeah. So in non-league, man, they don't have the budget to do the operation. They said the operation may leave me up for 12 months. And I would have just been, between the money that I earned, trying to get them funds together for the operation, it was just all too messy, you know? So they advised me to retire. And as I said, gave me 1,700 quid.
Wow. That was at the PFA or the club?
That was the club. Jav, I was trying to negotiate for like 1,900 quid, you know?
Shit.
Yeah, you know, like, when you ask me what made me, like, I think I was just getting like Like, you know, in a boxing match, I was just getting jabbed from everywhere. Like, you know, like the 1,700 quid. Because I remember the 1,700 quid, I was like, while I was on the phone, I couldn't hear the guy no more. I was thinking, that doesn't even get me through
This month.
Yeah, I was like, and then boys, the lies I was spitting out to Vix. Yeah, so Vix is my partner. I was like, because it's weird, like I still had this masculine energy, like, I got to look after my family, even though I'm fucking up, yeah. I'm like, how am I going to lie to her? Not even how am I going to get through this? How am I going to lie to her to make out like things are okay? Yeah, and I think those are the things that was all hitting me. You know? So,
yeah. That's mad. And the PFA couldn't give you no more bread than that?
I think they clear debts. You know, I don't think they ever give you, because yeah. I feel like if you got like a gambling problem, they just still clear the debt.
Yeah.
And then no way for like young players to get insurance, like in cases like that. Wouldn't you have got it? You know, do you know what I mean?
Some players do have insurance. Yeah, I know a lot of players that do have insurance, but I'm not quite sure
how that works.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's some insurers where basically what the remainder of your contract is. They don't give you the full contract, but they would give you like some percentage of what the remainder would be. So let's say he retired and you had 2 years left. They might give you enough to basically live for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Non-league's a bit like the Wild West. I think, especially what Jav's saying, definitely applies more to the pro game. The pro game is a lot more like a bubble. Outside, non-league like the Wild West, right? So
because you sign non-contract.
Yeah, non-contract. Yeah. So even if you was to get insured, I think you're more likely to get paid your work wage or something like. I think how it works. I don't think insurers really go near covering someone. Just say you're on £600 a week. I don't think the contract's not worth that much to. Yeah. But there is insurances out there. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So all right, with PT in that garage, how did that online get on your radar then? How did you switch?
We're speaking about Wayne before. So a guy came down from Brixton, Wayne Dana. I openly say he changed my life. He came in. He like this like weird introverted sensei looking guy. Yeah, wears this like do-rag, silver do-rag or purple do-rag. Yeah, he ain't gonna like that I said that, but and like he just started kicking knowledge to me. And bro, some of the things he used to say to me used to piss me off. Be like, you work too hard, man. You're not making enough money. Yeah, and I'm like, bro, the fuck, like. Man to work hard, like, you know, like that. He was like, I commend you. I remember this is his bar. He's like, I commend you, you know. Yeah, but it's not smart. He'd be like, I commend you for working so hard, but it's not smart. He's like, you're putting in the hours, you're not getting paid enough. And at these times, I'm like, does he even know how much I earn? Yeah. But the guy was a genius because he didn't really care how much I earned. He was more concerned of how many hours I was working. He's like, they can never pay you enough.
How busy was the gym at that stage?
Yeah, so Jav, it was just mad there because I would do my first session at like 6:30 in the morning. I'd go in and clean. So I'm a little bit of an obsessive in that regard, yeah. So I'd go in and clean, 6:30, I'd do my first session. I'd have a morning session. Then we'd do a group session. Vicky had group like 9:30 and a 10:30. Then I'd have some one-to-ones up until like maybe 5. Then we'd have another couple group sessions. We'd split the gym to the hall. Vicky would do a group class there. I would do a class in there. So we was doing all right. I started to charge a bit more money, but at the time my second son was coming around, the hours were mad. I remember like I'd do a half day on a Saturday and I'd draw for the Haribos. On the way home, I'm getting Haribo, I'm putting that meat up, Haribos there. But you know what I'm saying? I'm so low on energy, yeah. I'm just like, you know, but at the same time, you know, I appreciated. I think that's what us entrepreneurs get lost in. It's like you get that ego, that tick that you're your own boss, you know. I'm driving but you get consumed by it too because also the workload is mad if you're not careful.
How old are you at this time?
So this is early 30s.
So would you say football gave you some energy going into it though, like, or what you had learned from life playing football?
You know what, man? I was scared. You know, like scarcity. I was scared to be broke.
Yeah.
I was genuinely scared to be broke, and I think I would have worked more hours to not be broke. I think I didn't ever have a plan of being anywhere at any point. I had like small goals. I just didn't want to be broke. So my energy was like, I don't want to be broke. Like I don't want to be the broke guy. Yeah. You know, and I think that rings true for a lot of people. People think they have goals, but they're just running from being broke. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that was my energy. My energy, I'm just like, fuck that, like, man, I don't want to be broke. Like, I got my children, like we might not have the most, but we're just not going to struggle.
Yeah,
you know,
that's crazy.
But there's a low ceiling on that.
Yeah. So obviously, Wayne, his name's Wayne, right? Wayne was helping
Shout out Wayne.
kind of just get started. So how did you actually get started with actually moving online then? What was like the building blocks?
So he called me one time. He was like, and I'll never forget, he was, how would you like to make 100 grand a year working 3 hours a day? I was like, bro, the fuck kind of question is that? Pause, innit? Like, so we sat down, I didn't see at the time, we started talking about content. And he was like, do this, doc, do this, do that, do that. And I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. He was talking about very small things, but all of it was like skill and value based. It was all adding to me, you know, like, and on top of that was like authenticity as well. Like he allowed me to be me rather than like this, more like this chameleon that jumped around the gym trying to please people. And then he gave us a content calendar. He gave us a 2-step script. Oh my God, that to begin with, that was shit. I was terrible at it. He gave us a 2-step script. We used to do some check-in calls. And he gave us like an CTAs. Okay. CTAs, calls to actions. Gave us some calls to actions. And he just just gave us a little plan to like step forward with. And yeah, that's how we kind of, the first thing.
Yeah. So was that around the pandemic? Was that before the pandemic or during the pandemic?
Just the start. So that's what sped it up, Jav.
Right. Okay.
That's what sped it up because we wasn't really executing on that plan with the intensity that we should have. And then the pandemic, I don't know if you remember, one day.
Wait, I remember the day. I was on the train. I was on the train. I got the text, Jav, don't come in tomorrow.
Oh, was you still PT at that time?
I was still coaching.
Is it? Oh,
so I was working at F45.
What does that mean? Like,
they were like, yeah, don't come in tomorrow. The gym's closed. And this time you get paid per class. So I'm thinking, what? I need to get £25. I need my £25. So,
so you wasn't even paid, it was like contractually?
Nah, it's self-employed. So you only got paid per class. You send the invoice at the end of the month.
Right. So you've done?
You done it twice, you're done. Yeah. So,
yeah. You see, back on that Wayne point though, yeah? Because something that struck me was, you said you met Wayne and then he's talking to you and like very bluntly, right? And as a coach, mentor, whatever, like I talk to a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
But how did you get comfortable or how did that dynamic build to where you was humble enough to even hear that and not say, oh, like, fuck off, like, you know what I mean? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so like even now being in sales and coaching, I feel like the relationship built. Like, I don't think if he would have done it on day one and said, like, bro, do you want to go online? I would think he's a bit of like a cowboy. Yeah. The relationship built, you know, just to be honest, he hit me where it hurt. Like, we used to talk a lot about kids and like what it meant to not work as hard, like, and what impact it would have on my kids, you know? So this maybe was based over like, maybe like 2 or 3 months. So our relationship built. Then also I started to see how he lived and how he was moving and I was impressed. You know, I feel like the stars aligned. I used to coach a guy named Dean Forbes at the time. You know, Dean Forbes. So I was PTing him at the time. So him and Wayne.
Forbes.
Yeah, shout out Dean Forbes. Crazy, yeah.
Big.
And I feel like the world was telling me like, Doc, you gotta level up. Like there's fucking Forbes, he turned up to my session. Yeah, bear in mind the garage, man. Anybody wants to Google it, Google Simply Fitness UK in Addiscombe. It's a garage next to a youth club. Turned up in a Rolls Royce. Turned up in a Lambo. Like people are like, knocked on the door one time and said, can I take a picture next to your car? Yeah.
Of course.
I'm charging this guy 40 quid an hour or 45 quid an hour, yeah.
He's getting a discount.
But here this now, Wayne has like gone to me like, Doc, you're not seeing it. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. It's still only him. He's only paying you 45 quid. Like this ain't the game. Like, so I feel like the universe aligned there and I feel like I was having a moment of clarity, you know, like, like, what the fuck am I doing here, you know? And Wayne used to be like, bro, you want to be him? You want to be him or what? Like, you know. So.
Yeah, that's the context around stuff that I'm just trying to get. So that makes sense. Like lifestyle, who you're around. I think life's like that as well. You always have things around you, symbols, majors, whatever you want to call them, that just kind of push you in the right direction if you're open enough.
Yeah, I work with a lot of coaches. People just don't. You see that ignorance that I had to want to escape and run here. Like, there's only people, man. Their eyes aren't even open enough to see their help, innit? Like,
yeah.
And I just think,
100%.
you know, like people would make out like you're not even living in the same planet as them. Like their resources are different.
Yeah.
And I'm sure.
Bro, I say it all the time. Like most people we ain't on the same planet.
Yeah, you're not even in the same realm.
We're not.
Yeah, and even I've gone on a journey, I've realized, man, you just can't help that person. You can't help that person. In fact, the more you tell them, like, they will despise you for thinking that you're even got the like audacity. Like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, it's a fact. So what I want to know though, because obviously you said the pandemic sped it up, yeah? How did the pandemic affect the gym? Simply Fitness? How
Done.
just killed everything?
So I work with two boys one's got cerebral palsy and one's got learning difficulties. I've not done a PT session since. I will not do a PT session. I'm not going back there. So from that day forward, I think my partner, Vix, she may have gone in there as a community aspect a couple of times with her online presence, because some of the people from the gym joined her online thing. She might have gone in there to do a session. Never gone back there. I never gone back there. Just to help, just to coach them two guys. And that's more from like a place of like.
But how did it affect your income though? Like at the time, because obviously the pandemic had to shut it.
Yeah.
You didn't have the online fully popping off just yet, right?
No, but the hustle was unbelievable from that point, bro. The hustle that it got when hustle. So when like that CTAs where he would like bang CTAs and I was doing CTAs, I started banging CTAs.
Okay.
When people was liking my stories, I started having conversations with people, you know. Yeah. So I just became more skilled really quickly, you know. Yeah. So and at that point as well, I think people was crying out for that, you know. Even more than now, people was crying out for some kind of support. The whole world was like in a maze, innit?
Yeah.
I done some lives, they kicked, they banged.
Right.
But even them, man, like there was a lot of girls in them lives. I don't sell to girls, you know? So, Jav, I just went to hustle virgin.
Yeah, so everybody, bro. Like you said, F45 told you, what'd you do? We all just had to just grind it out, man.
Yeah.
And that lockdown came, to be honest.
We weren't getting a furlough, bro.
But,
I'll tell you that.
But the thing is, though, it's funny you say that because people was like spending more time looking how they're going to get a handout rather than upskilling.
Doing something.
Yeah. So like, I get the handout aspect to it, yeah, but I was trying to like, listen, where can I get bread from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I found that a lot of people like, bro, you got a company, is your company registered? Why don't you try?
Get the loan thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I get it, yeah, but like,
I want to make money.
I want to make some money.
They always say like when society's at its lowest, there's probably the biggest opportunities.
Yeah.
So like think about
Market
when the credit crunch happened, like 2008, a lot of people became millionaires and billionaires in that time because they started investing then.
Yeah.
Because they knew that, okay, it's only going to go up from here.
Yeah.
So
innovation happens, innit? Everyone has to think.
100%. So, all right, going into coaching, we were just talking about this as well. Like, what was some of your limiting beliefs?
Man, I would see like Forbes, them kind of guys. Yeah, I was scared of them guys, man. You know, I felt like on a physical level, I offered something, but coaching online, it's more of like a chess thing. You know, like that. The conversations you have, even sales. Oh no, sales. Fuck sales at the beginning. We done this script. I'll never forget my first script. I went in a car because the kids here. I went in a car. I'm sitting there and reading the script, and Wayne said, "Look, D, you on the script, yeah." Bro, I read the script like fucking, Siri. I read it like exactly the same. Said, how has your day been? These times here, that person, because of a lot of the initial calls, you probably know about people you know. Yeah. So that makes it even worse. So I'm on there like, and I'm like read down the figure at the end. The figure at the end, I was like, I think we were selling for 1,000 for 4 months at the time. And like just even leaving my mouth, I didn't believe that was they were gonna say yes, I didn't believe it. So yeah, the limiting beliefs were that, am I worthy? These big guys, man, I'll be on a call to someone like, but I'm just me and they're them, like that thing. So there was a lot of like insecurities.
Yeah, and I think the price thing, that plays a big part of a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
Especially when they go from doing £30 an hour on the gym floor to now saying, okay, it's $2,500 for my program. Yeah. A lot of people can't compute that, like to be able to sell that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Jav, like, I feel like that's especially like coming from like poorer backgrounds here. I just think we just have bad relationship with money. I just like even saying large numbers is like hard for people. Like, I think that's a thing that I would love for my kids to understand. That you could say any fucking figure. You could say any. You're better off saying a higher figure and saying no than a lower figure and saying yes. And I think that's not just sales, I just think in general, I think we have bad relationship with ourselves and money,
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. I like, that's I always say that Bob Proctor saying where he's like, $1 million isn't a lot of money and it's not a little money, it just is.
Yeah,
It's a good way of just thinking that, like, it's all just numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no attachment to it or whatever. So would you say that money was the biggest limiting belief, or was you worthy? Was it?
I was worthy because
Okay.
I think that's just like a common thing that every time I need to go to the next level, I think that's a common thing. Like, is this your space? Like, is this really you? Isn't it £500? I see people doing things for 99 and they've got more followers. You know, that mental mind games. You know.
Yeah. What forced you to overcome all those limiting beliefs?
Just a number of things. I think people aren't, well, myself, I think being patient enough to like go through the nose, just going through the nose, like I'm just hearing them and then like realizing, and then getting a yes, and then realizing that the majority of no's aren't about you and it's more about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to even to the point where like I find it like kind of like funny, you know, like I find it no funny now, you know. I just think it was just about being patient enough to like call after call, realizing that being myself on the build up to saying the number made it a lot easier. You know, forming relationships prior to the call, like loads of things. But Mike, I reckon maybe like half a year of like going through no's and like detaching myself from the no and focusing more on like the actual call. I feel like the no meant no about me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the no was more like no Damian rather than no to the figure.
Yeah.
And then once I made it more about the business, then personally, I think it made it become a lot easier.
That's big, man. When did you clock that? Because that's something I learned as well. Like, I always say it, like, I did 4 therapy sessions in it. Like, I've only ever done 4. Would I go back? Maybe, but one of the big things she said to me once was, you're not your business, innit? Like, you ain't your, and that hit for me. So when did you kind of clock that?
You know, even coaching people, so like not just a circle, even coaching people and stuff, like I just feel like going on a journey, when you're coaching people, I think you find more out about yourself initially, like how much bullshit you chat, your lies, like, you know, and I think that particular period, that initial coaching online, because it wasn't all about me showing off how strong I was or how fit I was just learning so much about my like fragile side, you know? And just being hands-on. And obviously I have to give a lot of credit to Wayne. Well, that's one thing I'd say Wayne's exceptional at. Like, he relates a lot to that dating and stuff like that, yeah. But Wayne kind of predicted in foresight a lot of feelings I'd have about money and stuff like that. So he helped, you know.
Okay.
And like, what, before meeting Wayne and kind of making that investment in your self-development, were you already, obviously you opened the gym, but were you already looking into like how to invest in yourself? Because what relationship did you have with that side of things? Because there's a lot of people, I always say to people that in England, there's a lot of people that they don't know about self-development. They don't even look into it. They don't know what that is, what that even means. So like what kind of is, obviously meeting Wayne was a big thing, but were you doing that before Wayne? Were you thinking about that before Wayne, or?
Yeah, that is a great question. You know, I think there's levels to it. I was reading a lot.
Okay.
I was reading a lot, you know, and doing a lot online, you know, like the YouTube stuff. And, you know, like the whole journey of like Bob Proctor and those guys. And I still do that, yeah. But there was a lot of inaction with that. So like the reading I thought was the self-development, but it's the action, it's the self-development. So that was and maybe even answer your question, maybe that helped me listen to Wayne more. You know, so I was doing a lot of reading, and I second you. I just think, you know, in the UK, we just laugh too much about self-development. It's a real thing. You know, it's a real thing. You got to grow. Yeah, so YouTube, books, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you was looking into it, but...
Yeah, I was tired of being me, Jab. I can generally say I was tired of like the same results. Listen, I know you two are successful, you know, and stuff, but I'm pretty sure you've got to that, you was at that stage where it's like, nah, this can't be.
Yeah, this can't be lying.
This can't be the day-to-day kind of...
Yeah, 100%. So when do you feel like it clicked for you, and what caused that? Was there like a specific moment? Was it gradual?
Mike, I just love the fact. I just feel free now. And once I felt the fact that I could make money being me, I think it just unleashed the beast, man. And it might come across arrogant. Like, I just stopped giving a fuck. You know, like, it was just so easy to be me, make money. The people I worked with wanted me to be me. I just think it just unleashed something that I'd been waiting for a long time, you know. And not to say that I thought I'd reached a point in which I didn't have to grow no more. But I was in a space like, hold on, I make money being me. Like, I show up being me, you know, I people are paying me to be me. Yeah, and then, man, I haven't looked back since, man.
And a big thing about you is to being you, right? And like, I can't tell you how many clients that we've got on calls with, and I'm like, listen, let me show you this guy. Like 100%, like, oh, look, I'm gonna show you this page. Because for different reasons, like, you know, having a niche and all of that stuff. But the big thing was the authenticity, because we'll get a lot of guys or whoever over the age of 35 or whatever. I don't even know your age actually. But
39.
39, yeah, so over the age of 35. But they're like, oh, I'm not really too, like, they see the young Instagram influencer girl, you understand? And they think that is what being successful online is. And I show them yourself for like authenticity.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So what's that word play for you?
That's freedom. I know you two can relate to this. That is freedom for me, man. You couldn't take that away from me. Like, so this week I make 3 sales, yeah. Like, and a long time ago, this would have been a lot of money, man. So I made 6 grand this week, right? But people would probably think that the 6 grand in itself is like what that turned me on, if that's the right thing to use, yeah, about it. But it was the fact that on the call, I'm talking like this. You know, the energy difference from having to like be someone on a call to be me on a call. I'm like, the guy said no to me. Yeah. I won't say his name. And I'm like, you're a coward. Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, the whole time you're telling me about this moment, and then I've given you this moment. In fact, I've given you a discount, which I don't normally deal with. Yeah. I'm letting you break it up on your terms. You know, I just want a down payment. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, do you see what I mean now, sir? Yeah. So, and this isn't me being arrogant, because I'm also a coward sometimes, and someone needs to tell me. But the freedom, yeah, and then also the start of that relationship, he's ended up buying for me, is a fantastic foundation.
Yeah.
So when that, obviously the 6 grand sales is great to tick off on the board, you know, it allows me to buy some nicer things, yeah. But also I'm operating from a free space.
Feels better, man. Yeah, 6 grand like that, it feels better than the 6 grand of just like, you know what I mean, cautious, and yeah, I can't say that.
Yeah, I think it's important to know who you are. I think some people might want to operate, but when you are operating from a space where you can be yourself and make money, you can operate on a lot less. And then also it gives you more opportunities to like upskill. You've got a genuine passion to work with someone. Yeah. We're going to make magic, me and Jav, because we started off right. If I feel I've had to pretend too much to get the money from you, there's a level of caution, you know, between the message and the back and forth. Boys, initially, more relationships with the latter, initially. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, it's a fantastic space to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But, yo, you got a question?
No.
Nah, man, I was going to say, so that there, yeah, like calling man a coward on a call.
Yeah.
Like, that's powerful, isn't it? And that's one of the things that struck me about yourself, like on that first, when you spoke, right? Because you was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but I see that the strength in that mindset, you know what I mean? So, what are the 3 things that built that kind of mindset in you? I know this.
Yeah. 3 things is, you learn a lot from football, you know. Football is a good place, you know. Football, I think being competitive regularly, like, is a big thing. I think not enough people do that, Mike. I think a lot of people, like, live competition through what they see rather than actually, like, hand-to-hand combat. Even in business, even, like, me taking something before you, then you wanted to get it back from me. You know, like, I like that. And I just think a lot of people don't operate from that space. I pick goals, man. I think not a lot of people have enough value-based goals. I've got value-based goals. You know, how I want my children to see me in a particular light. That makes me behave a certain way. You see that phone call I had? I want my son to be able to understand that there's cowards and there's brave people. You know? And maybe like legacy, you know, like I still want my name on the back of my shirt, man. I still want my number to go up on the Hall of Fame, you know. I know there's a lot of ego attached to that, but I don't want to just be another number, you know, that retires and they just clap off in the office, you know. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, you know.
Leave the imprint.
Yeah.
100%. Do you have a question there now? Yeah, I'm stacked up today, man.
Looking at your list.
You see the list, yeah? Okay. All right, cool, man. So we've gone into a lot of like your story and so on. But what do you see in coaches? Because like in that event, limiting beliefs, where they go, you know, just what's the key, some of the things?
Mike, most coaches ain't even coaches. Most business people ain't even business people. Like, it pisses me off, you know, like most coaches, even footballers, they're just like people that want to be seen as coaches, or like want a social media page that makes them look like a coach, or like most people don't actually have a practice, or like they're not actually coaching people regularly. They might have their brethren that they motivate or send a WhatsApp message to. Most people ain't even making money from coaching. It astonishes me, like, how many people like say like, I want to be a coach. All right, cool. Message 20 people and tell them you got a service and get on. Like, I don't want to be too pushy. Like,
That's the word.
To be honest, man, I genuinely think, man, that it's gonna sound so harsh. Like, that most people just like the idea of things.
Yeah.
They don't like the execution. They don't like getting their hands dirty. They don't like the action. They don't like getting muddy. They don't like no's.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't like the risk of not having money. You know, like.
And we was just with PMAC, you know, PMAC Fitness the other day, and he made a great point. Was asking him about like, how did you get started? Because obviously he coaches celebrities now, but obviously that wasn't always the case, right? And he was telling us a story of like when he was doing his level 3 qualification, a guy came in and they basically had to hand out flyers, and on High Kensington Street, he basically walked the whole road and handed out flyers to every single shop. He didn't get no clients. He didn't get one client from it. But when he said that to me, I'm like, oh, it makes sense, because that's why you're so resilient and you make content every day, because it's like you don't mind just hitting your head against the wall till it breaks, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the best online coaches that I see, they come from, they're willing to do sales, and I think that's where people that rejection. A lot of people are scared of rejection.
Yeah.
And that holds them back the most out of anything. That's from what I've seen.
Yeah. You know what, Jav, like even football, even in football or in sports here, most people, like, they train, they don't play. You know, like most people, or boxing or sparring or whatever, or anything. Most people train. You say people say, oh, I'm going to set up a business. They get their logo done, they register the company. They don't actually do any business. They don't do the hard stuff. So I think if you're a coach, the first thing you should do before you start an Instagram page, you should probably reach out to your local audience, your friends or whatever, and build a service and charge and see how that works. You know, rather than like, I'm probably not the best, but you know, like these coaches online, 500, they think, that's what I want to be. That's the Premier League. Like, don't worry about that. You know, can you even coach? Can you coach? Can you coach? So I think to a lot of these coaches, man, I say like, don't even label yourself as a coach until you have a practice that's turning over people and money. You know?
Yeah. And then sticking with that then as well, like was talking about the authenticity of your brand and what you do. Was there ever a sticking point when it came to you making content? Because again, one of the biggest things that we see from coaches is this hesitation of putting themselves out there and actually marketing their service. Obviously, we go on your page, you're very raw, you're very honest, but you don't have a problem putting stuff out there. Was it always that way? Did you ever have like any apprehensions around, I don't know if I should say this on camera? Was you scared of recording, like stuff like that?
When I started working with mentors, when they initially give me like content things, I definitely struggle, because, you know, sometimes they'll say something, I'm like, how do I communicate that as me? Right? But as me posting things online, no, I don't, because I feel people that do that, judge other people online. So I've said things online wrong. I've definitely, in the next week, will say something that is contradictory to what I said 2 years ago, yeah. And I'm okay being judged, and I will apologize, yeah. But I think people want to show up online as perfect because they expect other people to show up online as perfect. And they're constantly judging her. She doesn't even look like that. He's a dickhead. I remember him. He used to do this. He used to do that, yeah. When really, like, if you're going to do that, you're scared to put out content now because you're thinking, they're just going to say I'm fake. You know me, I'm showing up online. I'm trying to be compassionate. I'm trying to be empathetic. I'm trying to deliver it in a way that helps the audience that I best serve. Will I be judged? Yes, but listen, I'm just looking for one person, Jab. I'm not looking to fucking please Tim, Tom, John, and fucking these other guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Listen. But the coaches that are like, because we all know the people that are kind of just not really living in their truth. They're like judgmental, like you said, so they're reflecting it back on themselves. But the ones that are hungry, they are ready to put the work in, because for every one of the other people, you got one of those people. They are hungry, but they just got these limiting beliefs. Do you know what I mean? What would you say to them to like overcome?
I would say, like, make mistakes, make sales. You haven't made a good point yet. I think the best thing to do is like, put your sales hat on every day. Like, make an hour in a day and sell something. And get used to no's, get used to underserving people, getting used to loads of mistakes. Because I used to bring clients on board, and when they weren't getting results, I'd be like, let me give him more. Yeah. And like, I'd be this whole authenticity thing would be like, I'm not the coach. I said, the truth is, man, 80% of people coming on your program are going to fuck up, you know? So get used to every day of bringing on another person that covers you for one of that 80% that goes. Yeah, and don't feel guilty about it. You know, they were going to fuck up on PMAX, mine, the body coach. They're going to fuck up on everybody's program. and they will.
So true.
But Jav, like, that's the thing. People are getting too personal with it. So
100%.
them hungry coaches, put your sales hat on for an hour a day. Don't take nothing personal. Make sales, be relentless, play a game with it. When someone says no, say, why'd you say no? Do you think that's going to help you lose weight? You know, be adventurous with it, and don't be too caught up on like the idea of like how it's meant to be. Like, you're going to create your own little path, you know? I found coaches, yeah, like I found, I worked with a guy, his name's Boris, man, fantastic guy, right? And I remember he's like, oh, I've had a 50K month. And I was like, geez, 50K, geez, that's unbelievable, right? Like, what did you do? Because I've heard the 50K now and he's told me what he's done, I've tried to execute everything at his pace and his thing, yeah. But that's just not how. So like, I've got lost, you know, like, as I was in regards to the content, I saw how he done his content. I'm like, if I
do like that,
rather than just like snatching that idea and just doing Damian with that idea, right? And as a principle. So, and I think that's important. I think it's like, just don't get too caught up on like oh, Boris is the right way, you know? So.
Yeah, I do think that happens like with coaches. You look at a mentor that you like, that has something you want, and you try and emulate them, rather than believing in your own source and know that, nah, I got the source of myself. I just need to take from, you know, let me learn a bit from what they've done.
Yeah, a lot of them are lying. We both know there's a lot of people are not making money online. Like, a lot of people, like, they would like, they do this whole online coaching thing, right? And they're not actually making money. They're influencers. And I think it's about time like people start separating the two. Some people have 800 followers making tens of thousands a month, and then they've got a thriving coaching practice. And then other people have just got followers and put up nice content.
Yeah, it's true. So obviously we got the book standing right there, and I kind of want to move to talking about that and what inspired that. When did the idea of making a book come into your mind? We've spoken a lot about shirt on the back, legacy. So like, when did the idea of making a book spark in your head?
So I'm an avid reader for a long time. Mike can be testament to this. You know, Mike actually was part of this journey. So I've been an avid reader for some time, and as you said, I feel like this is another shirt on my back moment. And also, I wanted to write something for my children. You know, we never know what's going to happen. I wanted to make sure that there was like something that I would say, like, listen, man, if you're struggling, just have a read, you know. But maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I thought about it. And in the last 3 years, I knew I was going to do it. And then I think it was about maybe 18 months ago, me and Mike had a conversation. Mike still got to write his book, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, I got a valid excuse for that one.
And then, I got it done. You know, I paid for a coach, authorship coach. Yeah, and it took about a year to get together, you know.
Okay, so what's the premise of the book? Without giving everything away, like
It's a men's self-development book that gives you actionable steps daily to live a thriving life, to be more purposeful, to optimize things, you know. I'm just going to touch on a bit. There's a thing, it's called, I want everybody to listen to this. I want everyone to read this book, yeah. Actually, put something in the comments, yeah, and put a manuscript in the comments, and I'll send someone a book.
Yeah, we're going to give some out at the end. We're going to definitely have to do that one.
So it's called Slowing Down, right? And this is just an idea. Most people are obsessed with being busy. right? Their day-to-day response or reaction to life is busying themselves more, right? Most people don't slow down enough to learn new skills. They don't slow down. They just think by working harder, like doing more work is the way, like overtime. I'm not disrespecting the cleaner that does an extra 3 or 4 hours overtime or the bus driver, but that just helps deepen the hole or get the hole deeper. Can you slow down, come off of work and learn a new skill? Can you become more valuable to society? Can you become more valuable to people, to your niche, people that want to pay you? And I just don't think enough people do that. You know, I think there's too many people that obsess over an hourly rate and doubling down on that and thinking they're going to escape life that way, you know? A little bit controversial. A lot of people think that I'm being harsh on the cleaner or the bus driver, but the truth is the majority of people are unhappy, right? We've also got to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to have that conversation. It's not scrutinizing them, it's just a matter of fact.
Of course. Yeah, no, the book, and I haven't finished it yet, to be fair, but it's very good. One thing I like about it is just like raw and easy to read. Very easy to read, well put together, and powerful because it's easy to read. I found recently that I like books that are just like said in the author's voice and quite raw, not like, you know, like old school dust and thou vibes. So that's one thing I say about it. But yeah, man, what was the journey like of putting the book together and everything?
It's tough, man. It's another new skill, Mike. It's something I wanted to learn. I worked with a woman named Amina. She taught me all the process, right, from like an introduction. And it's crazy. You have to put your thoughts down on what you want to project before you tell her what the book's about.
Okay.
Right. So I had to tell her, like, who do you want to help? So it's a little similar to business. Who do you want to help? Why do you want to help them? But it was good. I feel as though the book changed me because sometimes in life you think you have opinions, yeah, but those opinions are throwaway. And then when I was writing it down, I was like, are these actually words I believe?
Mm.
Yeah, and you start connecting with yourself. Or what's your values?
Mm.
Yeah, so I found it really, really, really powerful. I want to write 3 books, so I will write 3 books, and like a trilogy of them. You know, the manuscript, something else with the title. You know, like make it catchy.
True. Yeah. And and obviously, the you started off Dr. Damo before it was Super Dad Damo. I remember you told me about having some backlash because people thought you were saying doctor.
Oh, that was mad. That's mad.
And then, so like, what inspired? Like, what are you seeing now in men? Yeah, because I talk a lot about this on my personal YouTube channel as well. It's like, what are you seeing a lot now in men that's making you feel like they need help?
Weak, Jav, just weak.
Yeah.
Just weak people, man. Just weak people. Like, I don't see why the benchmark has to be weakness. Like, I feel like we should accommodate for people that don't have the strength to do certain things. But it's like the benchmark, it's like the weakest people are telling us what to do. Overweight, fucking unhappy, people on med. Like, I am not scrutinizing them. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying, why have we got to the point that like, that's the benchmark? Like, that's like, oh, be okay. Like, it's okay to do this. Like, it's not. And I just see it as a reflection. Like, I think like I read a stat, 67% of people are overweight. Men. Black men is meant to be something like 76%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just went for it.
Yeah, for me, it's like men are just weak. Like, and it's like, then it's got to the point where like men need to read books on how to be men. You know, like, low testosterone, like even conversations, like what we like, relationships, like how like with our children, like loads of this stuff. Like, it's very hard for me to say it without sounding like I'm not coming from a perfect place, but I'm like, we have to address it as there's something wrong with us because our children are now overweight. Our children are now mentally unwell. We're prescribing children with fucking tablets at earlier ages. So for me, it's weakness. If I was to summarize, weakness. Like, men are weaker than what we used to be. We're less resilient.
What's some of the causes of that?
Comfort. You get ill, you run to the NHS. You get ill. Like, there's no pride in health. Like, people fucking get their car cleaned once a week. They'd be pissed if someone scratched it, but they just got no self-respect for their body.
Mm.
You know, even financially, like, people have like no real aspirations for, like they'll have financial goals, they won't have times their family goals. You know, so for me, like, I want to impact my children. It's not about what I can buy them, it's how I can influence them as a person, you know. Social media, I'll throw it in there. You know, I think social media, for the best part, focuses on the shiniest object in the room. And when the majority of us, I'm a father of three, you know, like that we can't like relocate by myself. I have to take my children, but those ones are the ones that are the ones getting there. Like, what is a strong man doing every day that goes to work that has a healthy relationship with their children? What pages do you see like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Mike, like, even the fact that me saying men are weaker, people screw it, that's the problem.
Freedom of speech, bro. That's the big issue.
But factual place. You've just said how many, if obesity is 76% for black men, yeah, is it not a fact?
Yeah, it's a fact, man.
If you cannot run up your stairs, yeah, like, why are we not having that conversation, though, Jab?
Yeah. And facts don't care about feelings. That's what people don't understand. Facts don't care about feelings.
Yeah.
I think there's like a 50% chance, yeah. The statistics are not entirely true. 50% chance if you're fat, your children are going to get fat.
Children will get fat.
I read it, yeah, genetics passed down in the
But why is that? Why is that the problem, me saying that or us having this conversation, rather than the person who fucking stuffing their face and then using up NHS budget to...
Through obesity costs NHS multi-millions a year.
Multi-million. I don't know. You could probably look. It's probably one of the top cost diabetes.
Yeah.
I think they said the NHS won't be able to handle diabetes. Diabetes is a self-inflicted disease.
crazy.
Yeah. And then what about, like, obviously, and you can kind of dive into this as much as you like, but obviously you said your father was an alcoholic himself, yeah? So how did your relationship with your parents affect how you parent now?
Everything, man. As I said, my dad was a loving, caring man, but as an alcoholic, he stole from my niece. He's pissed and shit himself. He didn't work for the majority of the time that he raised me. My mum, I didn't see her from like the age of like 7 or 8, until she passed at her funeral. So like, and it's not just that relationship. It's Jarvis, our community. How many parents are together? You know, how many parents are together? How many like civil kind of relationships are there? You know, how many strong fathers in a household?
That's kind of where I was going to lead to next, about fatherless homes, but yeah.
And this isn't, as I said, I'm not trying to like pull on heartstrings here, yeah, but it's just a fact. You know, it's just a fact. I go to my son's football game, yeah. I've got mums. The majority of people on the side, like mums. You know, like, is that a bad thing? No, but is it
a bad thing, bro? It's a very bad thing. Yeah, I was telling Jav the other day that the whole single mum thing and the pride in that, in those two words, like, I don't know the best way to say it, but the pride in those two words. And I'm coming from a single mum household. It shouldn't be where it is right now, because we talk to a lot of coaches and they'll, you know, that want to work with us, and they, you know, so as soon as I'm a single mum, you probably experience it, though, obviously not yourself, but like, you know, coaches who want to take people on for fitness, I'm a single mum. So that whole thing for me is like, we need to be on a mission to eradicate that. Like, I'm a bit on like the harsh side where I think like it's a name and shame and that kind of vibe of like, you know, looking after your kids is mandatory. But then also in terms of the community, like you said, so powerful, because they say it takes a village to raise a child. So someone might have lost their dad, and it's not like, he didn't make the decision, like maybe deported or, you know, died, whatever. That's when the village got to come true and, you know.
Yeah, I did, man. It's weird, like, Java Mike, like, what we could do, right, is we could sit here and pretend that, like, it's okay, yeah. But what is the long-term effects of letting obesity get worse? What are the long-term effects of it, you know? And it's such a weird one for me. It's like, because I speak to men and they're like, oh, you don't have to be obsessed with getting abs and like that. And I just feel that's like small dick syndrome. Like, I'm like, yeah, for me, I'm like the way, like, you want your children to be night trainers. The majority, you want that, yeah. So why the fuck wouldn't you want them to be thriving with their health? Or abs, yeah, or whatever it may be. And yeah, so for me, like, when you say, what is wrong with men? I'm like, we are weak. And if you want, the argument should be start there, like, why are we weak? More than like, are we weak?
Yeah.
It's just that say that 76 or whatever percentage of us are fat. We erectile dysfunction, stress, low testosterone. So there's now less men in better shape than there was when we knew less.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
Crazy.
It don't make sense.
It doesn't make no sense. And then we're not even allowed to have the conversation because
As soon as you had the conversation, toxic masculinity.
Yeah, freedom of speech. That's the big thing that they're trying to get rid of.
Sure.
Really, you know. That's why conversations like this are so important. Do you know what I mean? So what's the biggest thing from the manuscript that you wanted to get out there? Like how your author, what's her name again? How do you call it?
Amina.
What she does?
She's a authorship coach.
Oh, authorship coach, yeah. Your authorship coach,
Yeah.
like what she asked.
So I just think that the biggest thing is like men owning their responsibility in society, in their families, you know, and I feel as though we're heavily on providing financially. I just think it's men, like it's time, we've gone past that era, man. It's not post-war. We're not starving, you know. Yeah, there's an economic crisis. You're all still going Turkey, getting your hair done and the teeth done. You know, like, yeah, we all still do it. We all still got the plasmas, right? I think it's men about owning like the next shit. All right, cool. My kids aren't going to be overweight. They're gonna have a better job than I had. They're gonna understand self-development. Teaching children that once you leave school, you don't have to go uni. You can do a course on IT. You know, ownership. Let's own. Let's be responsible for our part to play in society.
Big. And so obviously the main thing is fitness coaching, but like, have you had any thoughts or any feelings to like try and do things beyond obviously like the physical side of coaching?
Yeah, I think I spoke to you two about this. I think, I'm going to start going more towards the mentality aspect of it. Again, it's like the ceilings, you know, it's the ceilings. I think when I first started off the online stuff, I think I grabbed onto the health because it was a direct extension of, the physical side, the direct extension of the gym. I think now I'm working with men and what I've learned and what I've studied, I think mentality is the way I want to go to it. And obviously people watching this, you're going to think that I'm just here shouting at men saying, fucking lose weight and stuff like that, yeah. But the truth is, like, it's more recognizing that these conversations and having people to have these conversations with are your highest chance of, like, changing, you know, like that, like, not potentially watching David Goggins do 1,000 sit-ups on YouTube. I've been there, you know, I thought that was so I want to be that guy that can create a space that allows people to.
Yeah. And I think it's a journey, man. I think when you coach fitness, you do it might be 3 years, it might be 4 years, but I think it's okay to like extend that journey beyond just fitness, because it is more than just fitness. Even though we give someone a life transformation, we're literally giving them a life transformation. So physical is one part, there's social, there's mental, there's so many sides that we can help somebody transform. So it's a natural part of the journey, I feel like.
Yeah.
For you especially.
Like you with the business aspect, you know, with the business aspect. I think even like the whole idea of like money, and I want to also go into that aspect of like telling people that like the money that you bring on board, like that's got to go back into yourself. You know, all of that, like, and what I learned myself through weighing and stuff, because if not, this day that you live will be the same day.
And keep you living forever.
Yeah. Or you got to hope your manager thinks you're the pretty one and promotes you, you know? Yeah,
Crazy.
that's how it works, isn't it? Like, you know, you could be the best, but if you think someone else is better looking or he fancies them, you know, so. But yeah, so that's why I want to go mentality.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sick.
All right, you did the NLP course, right?
NLP.
Did that do a lot of, did that help you a lot with how you coach?
100%. So NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, it kind of scared me off to begin with, because when you read up on it, it says the UK kind of say it's bullshit. I think the term's pseudo-science or something, and then the America all over it. Right? And like hypnotizing people and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. But then when you go on it, hypnotherapy. But then when you go on the course, you learn so much, and you can see their cells. They love it. The cells and the whole aspect to it. They've implemented that. But what I learned was how important what I see, at least what I see, is costing me. Does that make sense? Not what I necessarily do. So like coming into I've walked into a room before. I had a talk with loads of white guys. They're not gonna rate me, man. Like, I should have wore a shirt. Should have done this. Then from that moment, during my talk, I don't show up or I change my vocab and stuff like that, yeah. These times here, these guys could be thinking, okay, his fucking boy, he's a fucking, he's the greatest guy on earth, yeah. So NLP teaches you about the filter system, yeah, and learning that initial thought comes from previous traumas, you know. Might have watched something on news where racism was rife that day, or as a child, I had done a speech and a bunch of white kids laughed at me, right? So it allowed me to like work things out that like, all right, bro, this ain't even real. Relax, you know, relax. Just view it as humans. You know, if there's a few people in there that don't like you because you're color, like you still show up. So yeah, that NLP in that sense, man, is really powerful. Like you learn that the brain or they believe that the brain has a filter system that sits in front of action. And all of us, all of our filter systems differ based on previous experiences.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. I haven't actually done it myself. I'm thinking about doing it, but I see I've noticed coaches that have done it perform better in the coaching side.
Yeah.
I've noticed some good,
The Americans bang it, don't they? They love it.
They love it. There's a lot of sales incorporated with that. When you look at some of the biggest sales coaches in the States, they use a lot of NLP practices. Yeah.
So funny, you know, the guy called him a coward. That's a lie. I actually said, are you a coward? Yeah. And NLP in that sense, yeah, if you say to someone, you're a coward, yeah, they'll be like, what are you talking about? I had a fight in year 6 and I knocked the guy out, yeah. But you know, if you say to someone, are you a coward, yeah? It's an ask, yeah. And they're like, what did you mean? I am acting a little bit like...
What does a coward do?
Well, exactly, yeah. So it's interesting. So NLP has probably changed my delivery in terms of things like, if you ask, it makes them have to respond in a little bit different way to say, you're a pussy, you know?
And it goes back to that investing in yourself because, you know, you invested in that, changed your approach, helped you with your coaching. You invest same with Wayne and everything like that. So, yeah, what would you say about mentorship, man?
Big, man. If you have the capacity, the outlay, man, just do it regularly, man. Like, reduce your outgoings on the things that you would consider luxurious for 18 months and you'll just see a difference, man. Coach, get a coach, man. Get someone you like, talk to them. There's free shit nowadays, boys, isn't it? That would benefit.
Yeah, loads of free shit.
Regularly. And I think that's what changed me. I saw American guys, I done work to a American guy for free, yeah. And he put up his invoice and how much he earned. And I was like, just even seeing the figure, I'm like, my world's changed a little bit, you know? So mentorships are a must. They're too cheap. They're too cheap to not do them. You know, like, and that's I've paid like 10K for membership, but I would definitely say like even £9,000 mentorship could literally change your life.
And what about like in-person stuff as well? Because I know you told me about something that you went to in person, like a conference.
Yeah.
Well, how important is that as well? Like meeting people as well, just in the flesh.
Yeah, brilliant. Because obviously people like us, you know, as much as you see someone online, like when you get in person and you get that energy and that vibe, I think that's where true synergy happens, you know. I think that requires a level of bravery as well, Jav. You know, like it's different on a Zoom call being a CEO, you know, than in person being the man and I think that practice is essential, you know. I do think that it can be overrated as well, because I think online you can maneuver, you know. Yeah. I don't think it's for everyone, and I think just appreciating that doing it online can be equally as powerful.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the biggest issue is like people want to go to, they call it success porn. They want to go to all these things and not actually take action. So they just come and they're just there. They take notes. A year later, they still ain't done what's in their notepad.
These people hurt my soul. You know what? Yeah, they're commentary people as well. You know, like they'll be like the ones saying to you, like, you know, like you've got the money in the bank from coaching, and they'll be like, I think you should change your content. You know, I read this. You know, these guys, they'll be like, oh, you know what? I think you should change it. Don't be super dad Damo. Be fit dad Damo. You know, the fuck? Like you got a note from 2014. What you should.
Audacity. I think something big that you said as well is just the athletic side and competition. I spoke on it in a webinar recently with the coaches, right? And yeah, I think there is something just about the competition aspect and just competing and doing something that just pushes you out, because it's like we said, comfort. Yeah. And I think comfort is like, it's the killer. That's the killer of it all. That's why I kind of went traveling for a bit because it was just like, I was getting used to the same four walls and my brain and thinking and sitting in the office and on the laptop. And I just thought like, life needs to be dynamic. Like you need to be here one day and then next minute you're doing a whole, like you shouldn't even be predictable, you know? What would you say on that?
I would say it's a question, you know, I think people don't think they're weak, because they hide behind comfort. And I think when you step outside, and you realize how important it is to be strong, that's when you realize that being weak isn't a thing. You know, like it's easy to like sit online and say like, Mike, you're an idiot, you know, like that. But when I sit next to you, like you're not going to call me idiot because you know you're weak, you know. And the same thing applies to business and stuff. Like I think it's important that there's a constant like thing to make sure you know you're strong. So when comfort these people that sit in particular places, they think they're strong because everything's like padded and soft, you know, like that. But that's why when things crumble, they break. You know, so when you're saying like in regards to that, I think that's the true testament of why it's very important not to be weak. So you can maneuver, you could drop me, bring another fucking pandemic. I read that one. I read that one. You know when shit goes wrong, like you lot like I ain't got no money. I'm getting another coach. I'm going on my credit card. I'm getting another coach. You lot are like batting the hatches and like, and I appreciate everybody has their circumstances, but that's why it's important not to be weak.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's a good.
You got more questions? Are you done? I see the laptop. It's gone.
Yeah, all the main one. I wanted to just let it flow, man. I got the main questions for today. I think it's definitely going to be part 2, man. Hopefully we can get you on our part 2. But even bigger than that, we got you on our event on the 7th of September. Fitness Business Breakthrough. So we're looking forward to that, man.
Yeah.
Powerful, talk from Damo as well. You've been at every one of our events, man.
Yeah. This one, what's this one? This one going to the next level. Yeah.
We're taking that to the next plan. So it's
time.
a whole day. So workout at the beginning. So we've got Jim Busy, we'll announce it today. Is it?
Yeah. Jazzing them like that.
Yeah. So we've got Jim Busy doing a workout. And then we've got networking in between. We've got a DJ playing music in the background as well throughout. And then we got the talks just to mix it. We noticed a lot of people been attending these fitness workout events. They're getting very popular. And we love that in the UK. It's good.
Yeah.
But let's mix the business as well. You know what I mean? Let's get that in there.
There's a lot of PTs going to them and still going back to their regular 30-pound session and not leveling up their business. So why not mix the two and show them that, you can do more than just that, you know? It's important. But before we wrap this up, I always ask the guest this one question.
Yeah.
If you could give yourself, your 18-year-old self, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Get a mentor.
Okay.
Get a mentor.
Why?
I think everything else that I'd want to say, without direction, you can end up lost. You know, all the energy I had, all the bravery, you can just end up in real foreign lands. You know, I think a mentor can give you direction, and slow pace in the right direction is better than sporadic energy everywhere, you know? So mentor, coach.
Yeah. Someone guide you.
Someone's the guide me,
Yeah. I actually agree, to be honest. I agree. When I was 18, I think if I had that would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ton, man. Do you have anything left that you wanted to either promote, say, or just bring?
I got to shout you two out, you know, inspiring young black men from the ends, like that are doing it properly. You know, they're not cutting corners, they're educating, they're not like cowboys, they're showing up, you know, they're providing value, integrity. You know, it's very rare. So for me, I feel like you always get people dabbling, right? But as I said, the breakthrough event, we spoke in Chelsea, you know, boys, you're kicking down doors, you know, so I think you got to take your flowers, you know, so.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Cool. All right, well, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Every little helps. We'll put Damian's details in the description so you can give him a follow. We'll also put a link to purchase the manuscript book.
We got to give away some free books. What do they have to do to win? Let's give away 5 free books to anyone who watches this video. But what do they have to do? Because we ain't just give
Give away. What do they have to do? Well, just write manuscripts in the comments now. Is that what we're doing? Easy. Is that too easy?
That's to me.
Some burpees.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Put it in the comments and
No, this how they got it. Yeah. They got a screenshot. Put in the comments, screenshot, and tag all three of us in Instagram stories.
yeah, and you got to be a coach, right? You got to be a coach to do it, or anyone can get it.
They could be a man. They got to be a man. Or if you're a woman, get it for your husband.
Yeah.
That's a shout. That's a good
Cool.
shout. 5 copies.
Yeah, cool. All right then. Well, the OHB podcast. Peace.
Boom.